Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball,
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us.
Before we get started, we have something really exciting to share.
Our book, Life Lessons from Pickleball, is now available on Amazon, and a portion of every sale is donated to Operation Paddle Lift.
Your purchase helps deliver paddles, nets, and resources to underserved communities around the world.
Thank you for being a part of growing the game we all love. Now let's jump into today's episode. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball, everyone. Today we are so glad to have Melanie, better known as Mae Romero, with us today. Mae, you grew up on a farm. You learned to weld when you were just a wee one at 7 years old, and you've spent your life building things and bringing ideas to life.
You are an inventor, a lifelong problem solver, and the founder of Okto Pickleball. You discovered the game, saw that players needed something better, and instead of just noticing the problem, you created a solution. That is a great story.
Really cool story. And what really stands out to us is that invention and pickleball seem to have so much in common. I mean, both take creativity and resilience and the ability to adapt to what is right in front of us.
We cannot wait to hear about your journey. Let's start with, what did learning to weld at 7 teach you about confidence, creativity, and figuring things out for yourself?
Yeah, well, I can't take credit for that. My dad was my mentor, and he created everything on our farm, every corral and barn and gate and what have you. And he never went shopping for things. If he had a problem, he just would reach into this big junk pile, pull something out, go into his shop and drill and grind and mill and weld. And before we know it, we had exactly the part we needed for one of our pieces of equipment. And so to me, that was magic. And it was resilience and just being able to make what you need versus go out and buy what you need. And I just love that. I thought he was a genius. And I always just naturally like to make things as well.
So, two geniuses in the family.
Well, I don't know about geniuses, but definitely highly creative people that are independent and enjoy, creating what we need. Or if there's something in our lives that we think can be better, we like to change it until it's better,
And in fact, it created a trajectory for your career, yeah?
It really did. Yeah, looking back, it really, really did. And I wasn't always aware of it through the years, but yeah, it did create a trajectory for my life.
And your mom even told you you could be an engineer. Didn't you wonder, can girls even be mechanical engineers?
Yeah. When it was, I was valedictorian of my high school, and when I was deciding on I knew I was going to go to college, but when I was deciding what degree I could go after, to me, engineering just seemed like the best fit for my interests of making things. And so, but I was very shy, and I asked my mom if I could be a mechanical engineer because I thought that was just for boys. And she said, absolutely, you can be a mechanical engineer. And so that gave me full confidence to move forward in that area of study. And yeah, the rest is history.
Good for mom. That was awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. They're both pretty awesome.
So how did pickleball first come into your life?
So I learned pickleball in like the fall of 2022. And I'm not sure who invited me or how I ended up in that court that first day, but I loved it immediately. I mean, just like immediately. And I had I had bought a paddle off of Craigslist, and honestly, I think it was a paddle. I don't even know if it was a pickleball paddle or either that or it was a really old pickleball paddle. But I bought it for like $5 because I didn't know if I was going to like this new sport, and I didn't want to invest, anything yet. And I went and I just loved it. And I couldn't learn fast enough how to score and new techniques, and then it's a sport where you feel good at it right away. You can have little wins, right away. And so that was something I just needed. I'm a fierce competitor, and I like to compete. If I lose, I want to work harder so that I can win. And if I win, I want to win again. So it's kind of a sport suited for my personality and a lot of people's personality, honestly.
Had you been in competitive sports before pickleball?
I've always loved sports.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, in grade school and stuff, I was always on the playground playing soccer or basketball. I was a tetherball champ, and there's a big funny story with that. But anyway,
Tell us that
um,
story. I want to hear that
oh,
story.
well, so I was in the fourth grade, and tetherball was a big thing on, you
Yes.
know, during recess. And I was so fierce at it. I even had the tetherball callus. I had a callus here from, you know, where I'd hit the ball. And anyway, there's this sixth grader, big, tall, athletic male sixth grader, and we were in a face-off, and I had beat everybody, and he was the champion. And so anyway, so we started playing, and I just smeared him, and he started crying, and
Oh.
and he was like, "You didn't beat me! You didn't beat me!" And the playground aide had to come and say, "Yes, Melanie won this game," you know, but he was angry, and he had tears of anger coming out, and I thought he was going to hit me, but anyway, that was a big deal to beat a sixth grader, and so yeah, but I've been competitive since then. But you know, growing up on a farm, there was never money for sports or piano lessons, or you know, my parents didn't have the time or the money to run us. There was three of us kids and run us to different things. We ended up really pulling together as a family to run the farm, and we had a lot of animals and a lot of stuff to do, and so I really, although I played sports, you know, in school and at recess, and then I did play a little basketball in junior high and high school. I've never played any sort of sport formally, but I've always loved being on a team. I've always loved competing, and now in my 50s, pickleball has given me the ability to do that, and now I'm unencumbered. You know, I'm the boss now, so I decide if I want lessons, or if I want to go to a clinic, or if I want to, you know, buy a new paddle or whatever. So I'm the parent now, and I give me everything.
That's awesome. So, when did you realize pickleball bags needed rethinking?
Well, very, very soon. I had a normal sports bag that I was using, and then I went to a local store, Game Set Match, and I was really looking for a good bag, and I bought this Wilson bag that I thought it was pretty nice, you know, and um, turns out when I look back on it, it just had three main spots, you know, and I just always ended up in the bottom of the bag searching for a ball, searching for my phone, a chapstick, sunscreen, and then it just in tournaments especially. You kind of really want to be organized. You have sometimes just a short amount of time between games, and you want to grab something. So it put my mind at ease to think that I could just reach for what I needed, if it was to reapply sunscreen or lip balm or whatever. And I just realized that there was no bag out there that was truly serving the player, the pickleball player on the court. And I saw a real need for it. I mean, even just like having a ball chamber to where you could just go reach for a ball, you know, where the balls go, reach for your paddles where the paddles go. And I just saw a big need for it. And my friends seemed to think the same thing. And so I set off to create it.
So, how did you go off to create it? I mean, kind of walk us through, because I think thinking about things is one thing, but actually putting it in a material. Tell us how you went about that.
Yeah, so I have other inventions throughout my life. One is a leaf bagging tool called the Snap Bagger. The other is a poop scoop for dogs called the Yard Pup Ultimate Poop Scoop.
Ah,
Both of those arose just like Octobag arose. I was in my yard doing a chore or committed to something, and I just thought, gosh, there could really be a better way to do this, time saver, more organized. So through those products, I learned the basic procedure, which is honestly, you can read all kinds of books, and I've read a lot of inventing books and gotten things from here and there. But basically, you just do it, and you just keep taking the next logical step that you need. And for me, for starting Okto, I sketched something out at my kitchen table, and I sketched everything I wanted. I laid out the 20 most used things during a tournament, from hydration to paddles, shoes, overgrips, sunscreen, what have you. And I just looked at all these things that are very common between players and just put a logical place for each of them. A place for your protective eyewear, your hydration, your shoes, everything, and then I also wanted it to have private areas, but also quick access areas. So I created these magnetic side panels, because I wanted it to be like a locker where you just open the locker, then slam it shut. So once you unzip the side panels, you can slam them shut with magnets. Same with the front workstation. And that way, you get what you need, slam it shut, and you're not zipping and unzipping and fiddling with everything. And nobody really uses that side real estate on a bag, and it's a big waste for me because it's just such a broad area of the bag. And so that's how I went about it. I drew it out. Then I hired a graphic designer to refine my drawings. And I realized I'm used to designing in metal like my father. And my previous inventions I mentioned were in metal. So I don't know how to make a prototype in textiles. I don't know. I don't have a sewing machine. I don't know how textiles work. I found a seamstress in Denver, and she made me a very, very expensive prototype, which the moment she gave it to me, I hated it. I mean, it was like obsolete that moment. I was just like, oh, this is awful, And so then I did more research, and I found a designer in Fort Collins, Colorado, a freelancer. I used like Fiverr or Upwork or one of those things to find someone who was skilled in the art of bag design. And so I found this guy, and by that time I had enough drawings. I had this rough prototype that I could sit down with him and make this real, make this a product that people could wear and buy, and it's what they're used to, yet with some enhanced features.
And how long did it take from beginning to end?
Let's see, I started in 2023 and launched it in 2025, so a good solid 2 years.
Wow.
Of many prototypes. Even once we had the design, and I selected a manufacturer in Vietnam, we kind of had 6 other iterations from there. And I was just determined that I can't launch this until I absolutely love it. And I really believe in it. And it really took a long time to get to that point. Like, I was like, this is still not what's in my mind. This is, it took a long time to get it right. And, to work the kinks out. And then there's also a lot to do with trademarks. And the name Okto, the octopus is my brand muse. And the reason I love the octopus so much is because it's the most adaptive animal on the planet. It's very intelligent. It can play. It can learn. And if there's one sport where you have to be really adaptive, it's pickleball, because you're playing different ages, genders, indoor, outdoor, windy, not windy. So you have to adapt if you want to be good. If you want to win consistently, you have to adapt to different styles. Sometimes you're playing a banger, sometimes you're playing a softer game. And so the octopus is perfect. So I named it Okto in homage to the octopus. So I got the Okto registered trademark. That takes a while to do. And I'm patent pending on my quick access side panels and my front workstation.
With the magnets?
With the magnets, yeah. And I wrote the front workstation patent myself using AI, which was a first for me. And I've spent tens of thousands on patents on my older products, and I mean, I wrote this for $65. Like it really, I was a micro entity to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and so it was to send this in. That's what it was, $65, and I got a provisional patent, which gives you a year's worth of protection while you figure out if there's a market for this, and then after that year is expired, you apply for the full patent. And so I have now applied for the full patent, and I did that through my normal patent attorney. But I used AI to do the provisional, and that saved me just a boatload of money and gave me that year of protection that I needed.
Brilliant.
Wow. Well, I must say that I have the bag and I love it. It's everything you say. Because before I just had a backpack where, yeah, you were reaching and searching. And just to be able to open and know my balls are in the ball place. So easy. Like you run and you grab a ball real quick, or when the side's unzipped, like you said, you just run over, grab your chapstick out, put it back in, or anything I
Right.
want. It's just so easy and right there. So you did a great job.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love
I'm
it.
glad. I'm glad. People seem to be, um, when they see it, they're like, "Gosh, you thought of everything." And I don't think people realize that they could ask that much out of their bag.
Right.
And it's because larger companies they buy the same bags made in a low cost manufacturing facility, and then they just put their brand all over them because they're really trying to market paddles. They're not really trying to make a quality bag that serves the player. And so, being a player, I knew what we needed, and then being an inventor, I had some background in knowing how to move that forward. Not necessarily textiles; there was a sharp learning curve there, but the process, just like, okay, I need a prototype, I need a trademark, I need to know where to manufacture it. I need to start the patent process, all of that kind of stuff.
And aren't there two sizes?
There are two sizes, yes. So in July of 2015, we launched one size in one color, the Okto Pro Elite in black with blue piping. It has this sky blue piping and a sky blue interior. The other thing we did with the interior is we matched the interior to the piping, so they're colorful.
Nice.
Most bags are like a dark hole, and it makes it harder to see your stuff. So we wanted
Yes.
a bright interior to just lend itself even further to that ability to find your stuff. So that was the one bag. So that was in July. And then in March, which was just a short 10 months later, we exploded the line and we came out with two sizes. So we have the Okto Pro Elite, the big tournament bag, and then the Okto Rec Lite, which is what Shelly has. And that's more for a recreational player, but that wants incredible organization, but maybe he's not carrying four paddles, they're carrying two paddles, or a little lighter setup. And then we have four colorways in each of those two sizes. So in 10 months, we went from one model, one size to 8 different products. And so it's been a lot. It's been quite the effort for myself and my partner.
Wow. Well, Shelly does play tournaments and she uses her bag at tournaments, so it works for tournaments too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it does for sure. I only like one or two paddles, so I'm not a big paddle girl. So that's perfect for me. And
That's great.
the like you said, the eyewear. I'm not an organized person, and so I tend to be a shover. And so I love this bag because my eyeglasses have a spot. I can always find them. They're not scratched at the bottom, tucked under something. Now they're always in their spot. I can do it
Yeah.
if everything has a spot. That's why it's so nice the way you've laid everything out.
Yeah, I put two protective eyewear holders under the top lid
Yeah.
because then nothing could ever crush them. So you open the top lid and they're right there in their own zippered compartments. And then there's an inner secret pocket for your wallet and keys. And then the quick access areas are for things that you're not really worried if someone's going to steal them or not. They're not. You don't put your wallet and keys in the quick access areas. You put those in the private areas. Quick access areas, you could tell someone, oh, you need a Band-Aid. It's on the right side of my bag, and they can just go get it. And so that's what the quick access areas are for.
Yeah, I was at a tournament. I needed to clean my glasses really quick. I just opened my side pocket, and there in the little pocket was my cleaner with the towel. Instead
Yeah.
of like digging in the bottom of my bag in the old
Right.
times, and it would be down with the crumbs of the food, and the towel would have food on it. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so nice.
I even put a little tissue dispenser where you could buy
Hmm.
those little packs of tissue,
Yep.
pull it out of the pack, and you put it there inside that dispenser. And it's because so many of us, when we exercise, our nose runs a little bit. So I didn't want to hunt for a tissue among my sweaty clothes.
Yeah.
I just want to reach for what I need when I need it and just stay organized. And a lot of other sports have expressed interest in Octo. One of my friends is an avid softball player, and she said
Oh.
that she puts her bats in the back, all her gloves and everything in the middle.
Oh.
And she said it hangs on the fence better than any other bag she's ever bought. It Octo comes with two metal hooks, real sturdy metal hooks that are tucked into the shoulder strap for travel. But then when you deploy them, they hang on the fence, and it just makes for a nice level presentation.
And so easy because I used to have a bag with just two handles, and I was constantly digging through my bag to find that little plastic thing that you had to use to hang on the fence.
Yes,
And
right.
now I don't have to do that anymore. My hooks are always right there. I just walk up and just hook it right on the fence.
Yeah,
So nice. Yeah.
the bag I bought originally, it just had this one handle in the middle, and then you have to search for a carabiner to put there to hang on the fence, and then it hangs cattywampus. I just wanted, just something level, like your courtside locker, basically, or your
Yeah.
courtside command center, to just be organized. And me, when my mind is organized, I play better. Everything's calmer.
Good point. As you were talking about all that you went through to design this bag, for one thing, the fact that you were a player and a really good player, and you knew exactly what you would want. It seems like every time you've come across an issue in your own life and you said, I can make this better for me and it's better for everybody else too. I just, on behalf of all of us who are playing, thank you for designing this bag that covers
Well,
everything one could possibly think of, and
you're
for
very
doing it
welcome.
with such quality. I mean, it's just a high quality
Yeah.
bag. People would be
I
so lucky.
I
Yeah.
wanted it to be very high quality materials, waterproof, YKK zippers. We haven't broken a single zipper in all of the bags that we've sold so far. We haven't had any quality issues. And then we also, I mentioned earlier how we named it Octo after the octopus. We also donate a portion of our profits to the Diver Mojo Foundation, and they work to protect and preserve the coral reefs where the octopus lives. So we like to give back, and that's a real important thing for us, and we're just so happy to be able to help the octopuses by donating a little bit to the coral reefs. It doesn't take much, but every little bit helps.
Yeah.
That is so cool. My Octopus Teacher, that movie, the
Yeah,
documentary of it, that's where I learned so much about them.
me
And
too.
oh, you too? Oh,
Yes, that's what I thought the octopus was, this gross, slimy, alien looking thing. Then I watched Octopus My Teacher, and I couldn't believe it. I was just
Right.
so moved, and so that was probably like a year or two before I invented Octo, and so it
interesting.
just all kind of happened in a very logical way, and yeah, so that movie was amazing. I've since read some books about it, octopuses, and now people send me all kinds of things on Facebook about octopuses and stuff. So I'm becoming an octopus expert.
Yeah. And ever since that movie, I don't eat octopus anymore
I
either.
don't
No.
either. And
Yeah.
with my real job, Octo's my side hustle. With my real job, I entertain a lot, and I take a lot of people to eat. And the first thing I say when they sit down is like, "You can order anything on the menu except calamari or octopus," and that's just my rule. And I normally, with customers, you never set any sort of
Right.
rule, but that's just one thing I can't bend on. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're a sentient creature, and It's just terrible the way they're treated sometimes, and lots of other animals are treated. So we're
Exactly.
happy to be on the side of helping them out.
I love that you're donating to the cause as well. And also, when you were talking about all that you went through to design this bag, it just reminded me what we go through even on the court. I mean, we hit roadblocks. We get
Yes.
like you did that one bag with the seamstress, and it was awful. Well, we've all been there in the court. We try something and nothing is working, and then we pivot a little bit and something starts working. The fact that you, when you said that when you first started playing, you wanted to learn how to score. I thought, oh my God, that was the hardest thing for me to
Yes,
That was
figure out. Now
hard.
it's
it
easy,
was
but
so
oh
hard.
my gosh, it was so hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in all of this adventure that you've had on and off the court, what are some of the life lessons that you've gleaned?
One of the ones I've gleaned is just the rate of perfecting, what you're trying to do. We're all trying to get better. That's what brings us back. And I don't know where I heard it, but it was appropriate for me. And it was, and I call myself like a bamboo, right? Bamboo will grow 8 years underground and you won't even see it. Like there's no progress at all. You don't even know there's a bamboo under there. And then after 8 years, boop, it pops up and it's 20 feet tall. And sometimes that's one of the lessons I've learned is, sometimes we're grinding for weeks, and we just don't see, our dupers in the tank, and we just don't seem to be beating the people we want to beat or raising our skill level. And then, but you stick with it, and then all of a sudden you have this spike, and you see your growth. And so that's been an important one for me, is saying, hey, I'm more of a bamboo. I'm not gonna have leaves and everything shooting out right away, but I'm working at it, and I can work quietly underground, and then just know with confidence that that work is going to pay off, at some point. So that's important, I think, in a lot of ways, is to just stay the course. And if you're doing something positive and something good for yourself and good in the world, just keep at it, and it's gonna eventually pay off.
Be bamboo on the court and in
Yes,
life.
that's right.
Wow. That's very zen. It's a very cool
Yeah,
zen pickleball idea. That's really beautiful, actually. So
it
people are
is.
going to definitely want to check out this bag and follow you. Where can they do that?
Oktogear.com, and Okto is spelled with a K. It's OKTO gear.com. And that's our website. And you can find all 8 of our models up there. There's the Pro Elite and the Octo Rec Lite, and then there's 4 colorways in each of those models. So please do check out the website. We have a whole section where we talk about our foundation and the octopuses. We show a lot of the features of the bag. There's a video of how I set up my bag just to get people started. Because a lot of times people get this bag and they don't know the Kleenex goes in that holder, and they're like, what is this? And so we have a nice little video to help you be successful setting up your bag the first time.
That's so cool. And it's almost like they're little secret compartments. I used to always love anything that had oh, there's a surprise in here. And so you've got that in your
Right.
bag too. That's a great way to start the game too, is just to have everything where it belongs,
Yep.
but also that little bit of joy about having this bag that has all these surprises too. And you're really quite remarkable, my friend. All the
Oh,
things that
thank
you
you.
have developed, and we especially love that you've developed this bag. This isn't an advertisement show, you guys. That's not what this is about. This is about life. And this is about Mae's life and all that she's accomplished. And then it just turns out she's accomplished something, provided something that we can all benefit from. So, wow, thank you very much for being on our show. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for,
It's a pleasure to be here and talk to you, ladies. And
Yeah.
Shelly, thank you for being a customer.
Oh, I just recommend everyone go out and get the bag. It's amazing. You won't be disappointed.
Well, thank you all. And yeah, thank you, Mae. Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in. And check out the Octo Bag. Different sizes, different colors, and all high quality. And you will have everything in its place so you can just focus on playing and having a blast. Thank you all for
Absolutely.
tuning in. And we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.